Well, we all expect it to happen, and this is something that if you've been watching the channel for, you would know I've been advocating for as the New York Mets officially have become sellers as they deal David Robertson to the Miami Marlins in exchange for two prospects in Marco Vargas and Ronald Hernandez. So we're going to talk about the trade, and it looks like the trade happened during the rain delay, considering the fact that maybe Billy Epler was like, hey, we're barely beating the Nationals. I don't know if we should go through with this trying the contend thing, which they ended up winning, but maybe that's what he was thinking. I don't know, because David Robertson was up at one point in this game, and then all of a sudden the rain delay stops, and we go to the ninth inning, and Brooks Raley's in for the save, which caused confusion, but that is just what happened. So, yeah, David Robertson is gone, and we'll get into it in a minute how I feel about the trade. Before we do, leave a like on the video if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Met fans, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live next on the channel. Also, be on the lookout for the post game recap after this video because we have a lot to talk about. I'm sorry, I'm just checking if I'm missing anything here on Twitter. But although there is a quote, Mark Hanna, we probably should have played better earlier if we wanted to be buyers instead of sellers. Well, I'm glad someone said it because it's just the damn truth that this team has played horrendous baseball. And if they wanted to be here in New York as Mets, as David Robertson was one of them, you should have played better. Not David Robertson. He played fine. He played great here. But I mean, for the rest of the team, yeah, I mean, I'm glad someone said it. I'm glad someone said it because it had to be said. But anyway, let's talk about this because I feel mixed about the trade. Because on one end of the spectrum, I'm happy that they are going in the direction of selling. There's also reports that look like they might be moving Justin Verlander even by Tuesday. So that is a huge deal because of the fact that they gave him a huge amount of money and the fact that he was supposed to be the ace and the Jacob deGrom replacement. And now he's not even going to get through half a season, if even that, because he was injured, of course, to start the season. So we don't even know. But there's still so much to dissect here with the Mets when it comes to selling. But with David Robertson, I'm mixed. I feel mixed because I'm happy that they got something, right? Because they had to get something for David Robertson. However, when you see what the Lucas Giolito and Ronaldo Lopez trade to the Angels was, and that got the White Sox, the Angels' second and third prospect. Granted, the Angels don't have the deepest prospect pool, I guess, but it still got two very good prospects. And Giolito, I get that he's a starter, and that's probably the difference, but still, you get high-end prospects for Giolito, who's not been great this year, and then Ronaldo Lopez has not been great out of the bullpen at all. And the Mets had the best relief pitcher on the market in David Robertson, and they get the 18th and 21st ranked prospects in the Marlins organization. Granted, I am actually excited about these prospects. I am. I think that with what they're showing in rookie ball is promising. The problem is that how much stock can you take into it because it's rookie ball, but there are a lot of people that are high on, especially Marco Vargas, because of the fact that they feel that he is far ahead in his development. And for a 18, 19-year-old kid, he is absolutely killing it. And he could be ready even for single A or high A ball as soon as this season, which the Mets could maybe will throw him into that spot when they have him over in the organization. It remains to be seen. But regardless, I think that getting something's better than nothing. But again, just looking at what Giolito and Lopez got in return, I really had a hunch that the Mets were going to be able to fetch a higher end prospect, not necessarily a top 5 guaranteed, but I thought at least a top 10 and then like a top 20, top 30 with that top 10 prospect, considering what Giolito and Lopez got. And the fact that Robertson is the best relief pitcher on the market, I thought for sure. But then there's the other side where it's like, okay, well, Robertson has 1 year left. He's making a decent amount of money for a relief pitcher as well. And on top of that, he's 38 years old. He's 38 years old. So the Mets had to move him. I get the argument there. But then you go back to the other side of it where it's like, You're trading him to a division rival. This is all you could get. And I'm still scratching my head as to why Billy Epler couldn't wait until the trade deadline to make this move when we could have had maybe a better package offered here. There maybe could have been a better package offered here. But again, I don't trust Billy Epler, which is why I'm saying if the Mets do decide to fully blow it up and go full rebuild, I do not want Billy Epler at the helm for that and leading the charge with that. But when it comes to selling off guys with 1 year left, this is just the hand that we're dealt with, and we're going to have to be excited about these prospects one way or another and root for them. But first, I will talk about David Robertson. So let's talk about him because Marlin fans, any Marlin fans watching this, just enjoy watching David Robertson. I absolutely love him, and I'm going to miss him. The thing that I feel like maybe dragged down his trade value potentially is the fact that his FIP did go up quite a bit, actually, since I last checked, which was like even 2 weeks ago. I remember his FIP being at like a 3 or even below a 3. Now it's at a 3.60, expected FIP at a 3.82, which FIP, if you don't know what it is, it's pretty much a better version of ERA. So that is pretty high, but his ERA itself is 2.05 flat. So that is something to look forward to. He does not, I was about to say he doesn't, but he does walk a decent amount of batters. He definitely does walk a decent amount of batters at times. He hasn't really walked a lot of batters though this year. I at least feel like he hasn't. His walks per 9 is at 2.66. His Ks per 9 is at a 9.82. Home runs per 9 at a 1.02. And his ground ball percentage is at 43%. So, and he has 14 saves. He's blown, I think, 2 or 3. But for Marlin fans, you get yourself a relief pitcher that you desperately needed. And if the Marlins are serious about trying to contend, which it looks like they are, and it looks like they're going to be buyers here at the deadline, this is definitely a nice add for the back end of the bullpen to either use as a setup guy or to close games, which I'd imagine he's going to be closing games for them. And it sucks. It sucks that we have to watch him do it in the division. But granted, at least the Marlins are a team that I don't really hate in the division. They're the team that I hate the least out of all the divisional teams. But still, it's just infuriating. And then also the fact that we never got to see the Diaz-Robertson combination that we thought we were going to get going into the year. And the fact that Diaz isn't even going to pitch and Robertson was only in here for half a year, it doesn't sit right with me. But David Robertson, very good back end of the bullpen piece for the Marlins. And you got to love the pickup if you're a Marlins fan. He also has a lot of experience pitching in big games, pitching in the World Series back in 2009 with the Yankees, and then pitching last year with the Philadelphia Phillies in the World Series. So he has the experience. He's been there. He's done that. And the fact that he could do it in New York, he could certainly do it in Miami, because no offense to any Marlins fans watching this, but you guys know it. We all know it. Marlins fans are not as tough on their players as us Mets and Yankee fans are here in New York. We're insane. We're borderline mentally ill for being this crazy about our baseball teams. But regardless, David Robertson, I wish him all the best, and I hope he goes there and he thrives. It's hard to say I hope he wins a ring because I don't want another division rival winning a ring before the Mets, but I wouldn't be mad if he got a ring because I love David Robertson. Who knows? Maybe the Mets will bring him back in the offseason and everyone could just laugh this one off at the end of the day and be like, hey, we got 2 prospects and we got David Robertson back when we're actually going to try to contend. But let's now talk about the prospects. So the good news, I'll say, is with Fangraphs at the very least, they have Marco Vargas ranked 9th according to their list for the Marlins pipeline. But they have on the other side of it, Ronald Hernandez ranked lower at 24. But I'm not mad again because you had to get something, but it's just tough because they could have got more. But Marco Vargas is the guy that I'm more excited for, and I think everyone is more excited for and hyping up on Twitter, and rightfully so. He's 18 years old. He came in last year as a 17-year-old with the Marlins, and he did very good, at least when it comes to the base numbers. His WRC plus at a 139, His his WOBA was at a 426, slugging percentage at a 456, on base percentage at a 421, batting average at a 319. Very good numbers there. 38 RBIs, 14 stolen bases too. So the guy can steal 2 home runs. So not a lot of power there, at least. But that was also in 53 games. Not much stock to put into that. But then again, he only has 2 home runs right now in 33 games. So it's a little interesting. So maybe there's not a lot of power there. And it seems like he's more of a contact guy. But 19 RBIs this year, 8 stolen bases. This is all, by the way, in 33 games played. He has a 283 batting average, so it dipped a little. His on base, though, is up at a 457. Slugging went down a bit at a 442, which still is very respectable. WOBA at a 440. WRC Plus went up at a 144. So I'm pretty excited, and he is a infield prospect. So that is something to be a little excited about. Hopefully he could actually play defense, because God only knows that the Mets need good defensive infielders too when it comes to these prospects. I'm not sure what position he really plays the most. I haven't dived that deep into him. I guess I quickly could, but yeah, this is the guy that I'm very excited about. That I'm excited about the most out of the 2 prospects. I'm not too high on the other one, which we'll get in, but it looks like he plays shortstop, third base, and second base the most. So that's definitely intriguing and exciting. And it looks like oh wow, he has 7 errors in 26 games for the Marlins in rookie ball this year. Yikes. All right. Let's move on though. Hopefully they could fix his defense, but again, that's the guy that I'm more excited for. But now we'll move on to the guy where I'm not as pumped up about, but still interested in, and that is Ronald Hernandez, who apparently has some speed. He's a catching prospect, but Fangraphs at least has his speed at a 30 out of 30. So that's pretty good. I actually should check this with Vargas. Quickly gonna check that. So Vargas's hit is a 25 out of 60. His power, game power is a 20 out of 40. Raw power 30 out of 40. Speed 40 out of 40. Yeah, the guy has speed for sure. 30 out of 45 on the fielding. So nothing too exciting. But let's move on to Ronald Hernandez, who is a 25 out of 55 for hit. Game power out of 20 out of 35, raw power out of 35 out of 45, speed at 30 out of 30, very interesting, and then fielding 40 out of 55. He has been with the Marlins since he was 17 years old too. He is 19 at this point and still is in rookie ball. Not sure when he's going to move up the pipeline, but he definitely struggled the first 2 years. But this year, a lot to be excited about. In 31 games played, he has 3 home runs, 25 RBIs, 3 stolen bags, which is actually pretty solid for a catcher. 298 batting average, 464 on base percentage. Wow, that is absurd. 452 slugging, and a WOBA at 450, and WRC plus at 149. Wow. So his numbers are not too bad either. In terms of fielding, let's see, he has, how many errors does he have this year? He has 3, it looks like. Yeah, out of everywhere he's played. So, and he actually had to start at first base at one point. So who knows if he's even going to stick at catcher. But he is a switch hitter. Throws right-handed, 5'11", 155. Wow. And Vargas is 6 foot, 170. So that's interesting. But yeah, I do want to quickly also read 2 things. One thing that made me feel a little bit better is Fish on the Farm at Marlins Minors tweeted this out about the tweet, quote tweeting John Heyman's tweet about the trade, saying, "This is a huge return for the Mets. Marco Vargas is one of the furthest advanced 18-year-olds I've seen. Ronald Hernandez is ready for A/A+ right now. Wish those kids the best of luck in New York." So yeah, that's something that definitely makes me feel a bit better. And then I do want to read the MLB Pipeline's scouting report on each of the 2. So let's quickly read those. Although I don't know who's here. Can I read it over Here we go. So this is Ronald Hernandez scouting report. The Marlins signed their two best catching prospects 6 months apart in 2021, landing Hernandez with a $850K deal or bonus out of Venezuela in January before drafting Joe Mack 31st overall in July. Hernandez has less offensive upside, but is a more advanced defender. He slashed 236, 329, 321 in the rookie level Florida Complex League while making his U.S. debut at age 18 last season. A steady receiver, Hernandez is agile behind the plate and does a nice job of blocking balls in the dirt. He has a solid to plus arm strength and showed improved throwing accuracy in 2022 when he erased 33% of base stealers. He works hard on his craft, diligently preparing for games, displaying leadership skills, and communicating with pitchers in either English or Spanish. While he hasn't posted big offensive numbers, Hernandez has a sound swing from both sides of the plate and makes consistent contact to all fields. He has the patience to work counts and should improve offensively as he adds more strength and experience. He could provide 12 to 15 home runs per season once he learns to turn on and lift pitches more often. So that's interesting. So maybe he will stick a catcher since he's apparently that good defensively. And yeah, hopefully they could unlock that bat. But I know everyone just laughed at me when I said that, considering the way that the Mets bats have been this year. But when it comes to Marco Vargas, Vargas looks like the bargain of the Marlins international class after signing a deal out of Mexico the day before he turned 17 in May. 3 weeks later, he reported to rookie-level Dominican Summer League, where he recorded 3 multi-hit games in his first 6 pro contests. He batted .319, .423, .456, and 1 team MVP honors. Vargas is an extremely advanced hitter for his age, showing the ability to recognize pitches, control the strike zone, and employ the opposite field. With a quick left-handed stroke and good feel for the barrel, he makes a lot of hard line drive contact. He already has a strong lower half and will focus on adding muscle to his upper body, which could help him produce 15 to 20 home runs per season once he turns on and pulls more pitches. Though he possesses just fringy speed, Vargas is an instinctive base runner who looks to steal when given the opportunity. He shows good actions, average range, and arm strength at second base, his best position. He spent much of his debut at third, where he made 7 errors in 22 games compared to just 1 miscue in 23 contests up the middle at second base and shortstop. So looks like he's better fitted at second or short, which Lindor will probably still be here by the time he's ready to come up anyway. So guess he's playing second base. But I'd like these guys to build more power if they can, but I'm still not overly upset, not overly excited, but I do want to see if there's anything else going on. But I'm a little disappointed. I feel like they could have more. Oh, Robertson actually spoke about the trade after the game, so we'll see that. But I'm a little disappointed. I'm not to the moon about it, but at least they got something. That's the only positive I could think of it. At least they got something. At least they're acknowledging that they need to sell also. That's something that's also a positive. They're acknowledging that they're not good enough and that they need to sell off these players. And again, maybe these guys could come back in the offseason if they really want to. Robertson is really a guy that I would love for the Mets to bring back in the offseason if possible, but remains to be seen if they can. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm sorry that I went a while, but I wanted to go in depth. I'm here to give you good content. I'm here to give you the in-depth analysis of things. So leave a like if you enjoyed and you appreciated that. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Met fans. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload a guide next on the channel. And I'll see you in the next one.